Thanks for being here. My name is Mile Marker, also known as Madeline. This podcast aims to discover what it means to live authentically. I work to uncover tools to help me be most present in my life. Each episode, we will discuss themes like how to listen to your body, understanding ways to be true to yourself, and learning what deep fulfillment looks like. The episodes will also relate to ideas inspired by my 2024 hike across the state of Arizona. Let's do this.
Welcome to episode 20 of Musings with Mile Marker. On my 20th day hiking across the state of Arizona, I hiked the entirety of Passage 18, Revis Canyon, starting at the Picket Post Trailhead and going to Rogers Trough Trailhead, which is a 17.8 mile passage. And I began passage number 19, which is the Superstition Wilderness. And man, the superstitions kicked my butt, to say the least. So we are going to listen to my first day in the superstitions, first of 2 days, and let's just take a listen of how I did in this portion of the hike.
Hello. What's the date today? Today is Friday, the 29th, which means it is our 20th day. 19th? No, we started on the 10th.
20th. Alright.
We started on the 10th.
Okay.
I don't know. It's Friday the 29th.
That's 19 days.
It was really hard today. Oh, I gotta keep eating my Welch's gummy snacks. I want to go to sleep soon, but I have so many things to say still. So then today, wake up at like 5 something. MJ had made us muffins, which was super nice. I made myself some black tea. Head to the trailhead around 6:30. Then we started hiking. We knew we had a big day. MJ did a little interview and took our picture. That was nice. I wasn't super well rested, but I was ready for the day enough. The first few miles were kind of chill, and then the superstitions shortly after kicked my ass so hard. The first medium climb was fucking hard. I mean, there was just so much vert, and I was honestly keeping a good pace, but it was just taking a lot out of me. I tried listening to Pen Pals by Daniel Van Kirk and Rory, but I had to stop because then I saw a small snake. I don't think it was a rattler, but I saw its tail, and I was like, oh, I gotta pay attention. I can't keep listening to this. So after the first climb, we make it to like mile 13. Nick goes ahead, and we're supposed to go meet up to go to the water. Little, trail with water, creek, if you will. And Nick had put his sticks near the trail so that we could know when to turn, but I did not see it. Morgan didn't see it, so we just kept on going our merry way, and missed him, or he missed us. I don't know what you would say. So Morgan and I were just soaking our feet, eating lunch. Nick was like running around frantically trying to find us, and he did find us, and he was kind of pissed. Whoops. Then that was the Revis Trail. Then we got to the Rogers Trough Trailhead. There was another little water chunk there. These 2 other girls were there, new hikers that we hadn't met before. One, I don't know either of their names. One was overly chatty when we were tired. But, I texted, Emily Wondercastle texted me, and we're meeting at Roosevelt Marina tomorrow, so that's exciting. So it gives me incentive to really hustle. But the next climb after we collected some of that water, so from like mile 19 to 22, I was just fucking dead. I'd eaten a little bit of a gummy for the second time today from the stuff that we bought from MJ this morning, and it hit me a little bit until I like shoveled 4 cookies that Nick gave me. I had a lot of snacks today, but it was just a lot of vert, a lot of vert, and I had my umbrella on all day. I definitely rose to the occasion, which was exciting, but took a lot out of me. I'm pretty pooped now. Where we're camping is super nice. We got up and over the saddle, and now it's kind of a flat area with a bunch of pines. The section just before us has some burn areas, which was sad. Something I had been wanting to mention a long, long time ago, which I don't know why I haven't yet, is sometimes we hear airplanes, but we can't see them, and it really makes me feel weird. I'm like, these mystery airplanes, like, why can I hear them and not see them? Oh, in addition to that, I forgot to mention on the Gila River Day, which I guess was 2 days ago, there was a helicopter doing some sort of training run, it seemed to be, because it was flying over the river, and it was getting so low, like so close almost to the tops of the trees near where we were sitting. That was pretty crazy. So, that's today. I'm feeling very exhausted. I ate Momofuku dry noodles and then the new ramen that Nick got from the hiker box, and it was so good. It was kind of smoky. So now I'm going to sleep. It is 7:50 something, and we're gonna have a big day tomorrow. I'm gonna see the Wonder Castles, but I need to text them when I get the chance to say that we can't. I don't know if I can make it by 2 to 3, maybe 3 to 4 would be better. Nick's showing me a picture of Bentley that Amy sent him, I don't know, sometime. It's very cute. Okay, that was a lot of talking. I need to keep up better. All right, bye.
What you just heard was my audio from my 20th day hiking the Arizona Trail. Let's just do a little recap of my Strava segment for that day. So I began the hike at 6:56 a.m. and my elapsed time for the day was 11 hours, 26 minutes of hiking. When I started the activity, it was 49 degrees Fahrenheit and 57% humidity. And the notes that I took for this Strava post are the following. Day 20. AZT picket post in Superior, past mile 300, through the Superstition Wilderness. Struggle City in the big climbs today, but the pines up at the top where we camped were gorgeous. Then let's look at the stats. 22 miles with 5,197 feet of elevation gain and an alleged calorie burn of 3,812 calories. I can 1,000,000% guarantee I didn't eat even close to 3,000 calories that day, which is why by the end of this trail I was somewhat emaciated, but that's neither here nor there. If I look at these 22 miles and the 5,200 feet of gain, the first, let's see how many miles. The first 10 miles or so is a gradual incline. I maybe only gained, let's see, first couple of, let's say 1,000 feet over the first 10 miles. So then the second 11 miles is where I'm gaining like 4,000 feet of gain, and it just looks like a ramp of go, 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 go steep. And one of my favorite pictures of the entire trail was taken on this day at 2:31 p.m. and I'm sitting and I am eating an Oreo and I'm making a grimace smile, and I'm in my grout fit, which was my gray Patagonia sun hoodie and my darker gray Arc'teryx hiking pants, and I'm wearing the sun gloves that I'd purchased in Tucson, and I have water and my sun umbrella is out shading me, and this was mid-climb. Unfortunately, when I think about the Superstition specifically, I just remember thinking, man, these are so beautiful. I wish I could have taken longer. I wish I didn't have to do this in 2 days, because doing 22 miles and 5,200 feet of gain in one day was pretty excruciating, and I wish I could have enjoyed it more. I wish I could have just hung out, if you will. This area is like immediately to the east of Phoenix, so I imagine it's where Phoenix residents like go and do day hikes or backpacking overnight, presumably, because it's just really cool. It's a really awesome area, and if I had done this total section in 3 days or even 4 days, I felt like I would have been able to enjoy it a little bit more. But the reasoning for hitting these miles, as I mentioned, is that the next day on Saturday, I was going to meet Emily Wondercastle, who is a friend of mine that I had in Austin, and she moved to Phoenix a few years back, and we were going to meet them for a picnic. Emily and her husband Joe and their family. So we were like, okay, we really want to hustle and get through this section and make it to Roosevelt Marina in time to hang out with them because it's a weekend for them. And there was rain coming, which we wanted to get through this hard section before inclement weather. So everything worked out. It was just a lot, you know. Sometimes you just got to do a lot. My tangent of these hikes to my present day, this is going to be a little bit of a stretch, but I'm feeling good about it anyway. So it's going to be about feeling crazy even if you're not, and vice versa. So Nick Morgan and I started this hike together because MJ had driven us together to the trailhead, and I'm struggling. So again, my wits are not all about me. And Morgan and I were together, and Nick was ahead. And so Morgan and I were like, cool, we're going to just chill and have lunch. We were having a great, grand old time. The creek was cold. My feet were in the water. I was very happy. And I just remember Nick coming back and storming and finding us and being irate. But Morgan and I just looked at each other like, what is wrong with him? Like, we're just kicking it, having a grand old afternoon, and Nick is freaking out at us. And it's because he thought we were lost and clearly thought that he had marked his hiking poles, his trekking poles, in a way that we would see where to turn. But obviously we missed it. I imagine they were not that obvious. Like, if you would put them straight in the middle of a trail that we would have tripped on them, sure. But like pointing this random arrow to some random side creek that we're not paying attention to clearly did not inform us where to go. So we were just like, what's going on, Nick? Can you just relax? Why are you getting all up in our face when we're just enjoying our lunch? Because that was such an enjoyable lunch during this day. It was a good reprieve. It was a strong reprieve, I feel like. So I was pretty happy with that moment and just baffled by Nick's belligerence because I was in a good mood. Similarly, I do vaguely remember these airplanes, but if I hadn't had said this in my recording, I would have completely forgotten about this little fact. But it did feel like, are we in a simulation? And obviously I know that's not true, but you hear the airplane noise or like a fighter jet noise or just a zoom of an airplane near you or somewhere in the sky, but I never could identify where they were. How was that even possible? I don't know. And during the hike, I definitely remember thinking, like, this is so bizarre. Why am I feeling so crazy about these airplanes? And it's funny because I have other airplane noises making me feel crazy in Austin that I've talked about with my friend Becca during her podcast. So it's just kind of an unsettling when you feel so certain about something and then there's no proof of it. And no one can commiserate with you. I don't recall if Morgan or Nick also agreed that there was this airplane existence, but not really. But I do recall that, and it was something that I pondered occasionally while I was on the trail. Didn't lose sleep over it, but definitely occupied my mind a little bit. So to relate to today and how sometimes I feel a little crazy and then sometimes I feel totally mellow and level-headed and sane, is that it is currently June 8th, 2026, and I am currently participating in the dating world of Austin, Texas. And man, sometimes I feel totally great and normal and fine, and sometimes I feel like an absolute psychopath. And all I can say is thank God for my friends and my sisters, because if it weren't for them, I would not be doing any of this. I would not be subjecting myself to the emotional highs and lows that is that of meeting new people and trying to maintain your sanity, because boy is it difficult. But I would say I have a good attitude, and I'm just trying to not take anything too seriously. Because life shouldn't be too serious, y'all. Maybe the airplanes are going to be figments of my imagination on the trail, and maybe my sanity while dating will also be a figment of my imagination. But regardless, I'm here to have a good time. And I'm going to just leave it at that. Until the next episode, which will be another memorable one because I get to have a picnic. And picnics while on the trail are truly rare. In fact, this is my only picnic on the trail, so something to look forward to. Bye.
That concludes this episode of Musings with Mile Marker. Thanks for listening. The intro and outro music are from a track called Wake Robin, composed and recorded by my late grandfather, Bob Ackery. Cover art for this podcast was designed by Polly Morwood. Production and editing of this podcast were done by me, your host, Mile Marker, aka Madeline Ackery. See you next time.